one of my sons passed away, and I was not equipped to deal with, process, or heal through that traumatic event. And I dove into a drug addiction.
For the first time, I had an interaction with child welfare. My son was, my now 25-year-old son was very young. He was probably 3 or 4 years old.
My oldest son, he was in foster care, I think for about 2 years.
I really felt that the experience I had with child welfare was one that most people feel. I felt helpless.
Just disbelief. That was the very first thought, right? Disbelief that you were unable to get any services at an immediacy when you needed them.
You know, in the beginning, I felt extremely judged. There was a lot of information provided, to the department. And I think that in going through the process, families feel pretty disempowered.
I felt, at their mercy. I could only hope that things were going to come out truthful and right.
I think if you're trying to design a system or change a system, there's no one better to ask than people who've experienced the system.
I see foster parents, alumni, and parents moving together to transform the system. That's a big piece that I didn't see when I was involved in the system. So in reference to the system, that gives me an enormous amount of hope that we can move forward.
We need constituents, we need educators, we need people in the system, people out of the system. We obviously need legislators. We need as many people at the table as possible.
When I think of hope and community, I think of neighborhoods where people are helping each other's kids, or feeding them, or giving their neighbors a ride to work if they need it without it being a bother or a burden on them. And just family.
Well, I think hope is important for children and families because without it, what happens? Where do you go?
Hope is so important to families because everybody needs hope. I was reading a book yesterday, and there was a quote that said, "Who needs encouragement?" And the answer in the quote was, if you are breathing, you need encouragement. So I think, who needs hope? Everybody that's breathing needs hope.
And children want so badly to be with their families. They want so badly to be with their mom, or so badly to be with their mom and dad, or their dad. And parents want their children back. Hope is the motivator. Hope is the driver. It inspires people. It breathes life into people.